Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Saturday, the 25th of May 2024, and this video is going to be my 68th World First Biblical Deciphering. And in today's video, I'm going to decipher for you Isaiah chapter 35. Okay, so if you head over to Isaiah chapter 35, I'm going to decipher for you the whole chapter or the 10 verses, if you like. But in the process as well, I'm also going to decipher for you Isaiah chapter 19, okay, because I have to talk about the last three verses about this highway here, okay. So not that I wanted to decipher Isaiah chapter 19, but it's pretty straightforward anyway. So, but the main reason for this video then is just to decipher Isaiah chapter 35, okay. Now, I do have a program here, folks, and although there are 10 verses, then it's actually quite a lengthy program because of this highway, if you like, that I have to mention, okay? So this is an important video, and I think this is the last page. Yep, I also have a conclusion. So yeah, let's get right into it, folks, okay? Now, Isaiah chapter 35 then, basically these are all Millennium Kingdom prophecies, okay? So from verses 1 to 10, okay, the whole context of Isaiah chapter 35 is all about the Millennium Kingdom, okay? Jesus restoring the land of Israel. But of course, prior to that, you know, executing judgment, if you like. Think of the judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat. See Joel chapter 3, verse 2, and also Matthew chapter 25, verses 32 and 33. In other words, the judgment of the sheep and the goats. Okay? So, let us begin here as to how chapter 35 in verse 1 begins to line up the restoration of Israel. In other words, the land, if you like, first of all. And then, of course, we see the glory of the Lord or Jesus. Okay, so it says here, the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. Okay, so it's talking about the desert. Okay, rejoicing, if you like, or blossoming. Okay. Now, so what do I have on my notes for verse 1? Okay, so for verse 1 then is somewhere we see the beginning and the full restoration of Israel in the Millennium Kingdom. Okay, the desert shall rejoice and blossom. Why? See verse 6, for in the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. Okay, so if we read this in verse 1, the desert shall rejoice and blossom, and then we go to verse 6. Okay, it says here, for in the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of water in the desert, if you like. Okay, not only for vegetation but also for animals as well. Now, of course, in verse 2, then we see Jesus. Okay, it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice, even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of their God. Okay, so basically in verse 2 then, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of the Lord. When? Well, this can only happen during the Millennium Kingdom, you know. They, the Jewish people, will see the glory of Jesus during his second coming for the Millennium Kingdom reign. Okay. So now we see here Jesus, okay, mentioned, okay, for his second coming. Now, strengthen you the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. Now this is very important. Okay, think of Jesus coming, for the judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, even God with a recompense, He will come and save you. Okay, so He's gonna come and save, the Jewish people. So basically, for verse 4, then I have, behold, your God will come with vengeance, even God with a recompense. He will come and save you. So when you think of vengeance, think of Jesus' judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat, the judgment of the sheep and the goats, if you see Joel chapter 3, verse 2, okay? And also Matthew 25, verses 32 and 33, okay? Now, verse 5, then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Of course, when Jesus comes for the Millennium Kingdom, the Jewish people are not going to be blind anymore. They're going to know that Jesus is the King and the God of Israel, okay? Then shall the lame man leap as and hard, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall the waters break out, and streams in the desert. Okay, so we see here, the restoration of the land of Israel. The wilderness and the desert is going to be plenty of water available to water the land, if you like, for vegetation and also for the animals. Okay, verse 7. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land spring of waters in the habitation of dragons, where each light shall be grass with reeds and rushes. Okay, so it's gonna be, because of all this water, if you like, it's gonna be huge amounts of water in the desert. Then there's gonna be grass, reeds and rushes, and more animals, if you like. Okay. Now the interesting thing is actually verse 8. Where it says that, and a highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those the wayfaring men, though fools shall not err therein. Okay, so basically, if I just turn over the page here, for verse 8, so it's going to go back one. Okay, what I have is a highway shall be there, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it. Now, we see a possible connection of this prophecy, okay, regarding this highway in verse 8. We see a possible connection or link or even marriage to Isaiah 19, verse 23, because Isaiah in chapter 19 and verse 23 also mentions a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Okay, so now let us look at in the Bible then this highway mentioned in Isaiah chapter 19, verse 23. Okay, in that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Okay, and the Assyrians shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. Now, just to decipher this, then Isaiah chapter 19, just to get it out of the way, then all the verses up to verse 22, because it's got 25 verses in Isaiah 19. Okay, so from 19, if you like, sorry, in chapter 19, from verse 1 to verse 22, these are all under the law. Okay, so pretty much all of Isaiah 19 is under the law, if you like, except for the last three verses, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, these are actually Millennium Kingdom prophecies. Okay, so this highway out of Egypt is actually a future highway. So this is these are impending and in front Bible prophecies. So it does kind of like link, if you like, to the prophecy here in Isaiah, in chapter 35, verse 8, if you like, a highway shall be there, okay? Now let me show you what I've got on my notes regarding this highway, okay, because I had to do a fair bit of thinking and I had to write a lot of notes down, okay? You know, in verse 8 in Isaiah chapter 35, how it says, a highway shall be there and it shall be called the way of holiness, the unclean shall not pass over it. Like I just said, it's got a possible connection, link or marriage to Isaiah 19:23, a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Now, Isaiah 19:23 then comes first as the chicken, okay, because when we read about the highway, okay, we first see it in Isaiah 19, okay, here in verse 23. But then we have to travel, okay, so this first highway here is kind of like the chicken, if you like, okay, and now we are looking for the egg, okay, and so then we have to travel forward until the chicken hatches the egg. Exactly, folks. And so in Isaiah chapter 35, there on the track, on verse 8, we see the highway again, you know, a possible linkage to Isaiah 19, okay? And so this could well be, you know, in verse 8 of Isaiah 35, this could well be the egg, you know, hatched by the chicken in Isaiah 19. Now, oftentimes, folks, you will hear, you know, ungodly people, especially people that believe in evolution, okay, they normally will ask you the question, okay, so what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because they want to trap you. But, you know, God created the creatures first, and then they multiply afterwards, okay? So let me show you Genesis, okay? This is one way that you can extinguish, if you like, all those ungodly people that believe in evolution, okay? Because if you read Genesis, look what it says here in Genesis 1, and God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping things, okay? So basically, God is making the creatures first. God is making, see, bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, creeping things, and so on. So God makes the creatures first. In other words, he makes the chicken first, and then the eggs, you know, come afterwards. In other words, the multiplication thereof comes afterwards, okay? And it says here in verse 26, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, okay? And then it says here, and God blessed them, okay? He blessed Adam and Eve, and God said unto them, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. So basically, the creatures come first, okay? So God creates the creatures and men, okay? And then we multiply, you know, then we multiply. So the chicken always comes first and then the egg afterwards. This is how you can defeat the argument of the evolutionists, the ungodly people. Okay, folks? Sorry for getting out of track here, but let us go back then to Isaiah 35. Okay, yeah, this is all important, folks, you know, to know all these things, you know. So, yeah, so there is a possible connection or link or marriage, you know, in Isaiah 19:23 about this highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Like I said before, you know, the chicken comes first in Isaiah 19, and possibly the egg. We are seeing it here in Isaiah 35, verse 8. Okay. Now, possible reasons for this. Now, the highway starts in the wilderness and in the desert, according to Isaiah 35:6. Okay. So if you go to Isaiah 35 and you read verse 6, okay, this highway starts in the wilderness and in the desert, okay, and a highway shall be there, but it starts in the wilderness and in the desert. Now, where is the wilderness and the desert in Israel? In the south of Israel. Exactly, folks, you know. So, now, the wilderness and the desert is in the south of Israel. So the highway starts in Egypt, according to Isaiah 19:23. and it goes all the way up to Assyria. Okay, so we know that Israel is going to be a lot larger than what it is today, okay, according to God's promises to Abraham. See Genesis 12, verses 1 to 7, and Moses, okay, Deuteronomy 34, verses 1 to 4. In other words, that Israel, when Jesus returned for the Millennium Kingdom, is going to be a lot larger, and it's going to be taking parts of Egypt and also Assyria as well. So Israel is going to be a lot larger. Okay, folks. That is one possible way as to why this highway starts in Egypt and goes all the way up to Assyria. Okay. Now, in verse 9 it says, "But the redeemed shall walk there." So basically, if you read verse 9 here, it says here, "But the redeemed shall walk there." In other words, the redeemed, if you like, the redeemed are going to be walking in this highway, okay? And no lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go thereupon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there, okay? So this is why it's called the way of the holiness. So what I'm trying to say here is that in verse 9, "But the redeemed shall walk there." Only those people that make it through into the Millennium Kingdom shall walk there, you know. So basically, think about, there will be Egyptians, because we need to think that today there are many Coptic Christians living in Egypt. So, there will be many people from many different nations that will make it through into the Millennium Kingdom. So there will be Egyptian people, Jewish people, Assyrians, because the highway starts in Egypt and goes all the way to Assyria. Part of Assyria will also be part of Israel as well when Israel gets larger. And of course, this includes everybody else that is living in the Millennium Kingdom that makes it through. So, for reason number 3, then, it is the only link regarding the highway. So, when you put together, here in Isaiah chapter 35, verse 8, when you think about this verse here regarding the highway, and then you go back to Isaiah, okay, chapter 19, verse 23, when you think about the highway here and also the highway in Isaiah 35, then these are the only two links that link them together. There are no other links out there in the Bible regarding this highway, okay, that's mentioned here in Isaiah chapter 19, verse 23, and also in Isaiah 35, verse 8, okay? And so, like I said here, it's the only link regarding this highway. So, in Isaiah 35, it says that the highway shall be there, but it doesn't specify exactly that it starts from Egypt and it goes up to Assyria, like it says on Isaiah 19, okay? So, we don't have that specific information, if you like, in Isaiah 35:8, saying that it starts in Egypt and it goes to Assyria, but there is no other link regarding this highway in Isaiah 19 and also in Isaiah 35. It's the only link regarding this highway in the Bible. So my question is, could this be the egg? We see, of course, a chicken in Isaiah 19, but could this be the egg here in Isaiah 35? So conclusion, it is a possible strong link, okay? Though more information is needed, and that's because in Isaiah 35 verse 8, it doesn't say that it starts from Egypt and goes up to Assyria. That's the reason. It's a possible strong link, but we need more information. But then again, there are no other links elsewhere in the Bible. So, what we have here, is the chicken, okay? And we got the egg, and we only got these two to link to each other. We got Isaiah 19 and 35 linking each other with this highway, so we got the chicken and the egg, and there are no more prophecies. So it is highly possible, that, it's actually a strong link. I just wish that we had a bit more information, especially in Isaiah 35 saying that it starts in Egypt and goes up to Syria. Unfortunately, we don't, but we do have a chicken and egg scenario, so it is a possible strong link. Although we can't say 100% for sure, but nonetheless we can say, well, there's no other link, and it's talking about a highway, which is important, and the only two prophecies that link with each other are these two in 19 and 35. There is nothing else. So, I just wish you had a bit more information in Isaiah 35, but it is what it is, folks. Anyway, on verse 10 then, it reads, the ransom of the Lord shall return and come to Zion. Of course, it's talking about the Jewish people that make it through into the Millennium Kingdom. Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8 tells us that only 1/3 will make it through, that are in the land of Israel. In other words, only 1/3 of Jewish people will make it through that are living in Israel, that will go through living into the Millennium Kingdom, if you like. So we read here in verse 10, and the ransom of the Lord shall return. Okay, that's 1/3, and come up to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. Okay, now the reason that they're coming up to Zion is because these are Jewish people. They're coming, to see Jesus, to see their Lord, with songs and everlasting joy upon their head. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. So yeah, basically, folks, just to recap, all of Isaiah chapter 35, it's all context for the Millennium Kingdom, okay? The highway here is tied with a very strong link in Isaiah chapter 19 here, verse 23, a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Don't forget, folks, that Israel is going to be a lot larger when Jesus returns for the Millennium Kingdom. So it does make sense that the highway will start in Egypt, because Israel will be taking part of Egypt and will go all the way up to Assyria, and Israel will be taking parts of the former Assyrian kingdom. So it is interesting that only Isaiah chapter 19 verse 23 has a link with Isaiah chapter 35, but this is the chicken. This has come first, okay, because we're talking about in numerical order 19, and then we have to climb up to Isaiah 35, okay, where we see here in verse 8 again the highway, the link. So this could well be the egg. The chicken comes first, if this is the egg, and only Isaiah 19 and Isaiah 35 talk about this highway, so, and nowhere else. So, a classic case, folks, of the chicken and the egg in my view, but I just wish that in this prophecy here in verse 8, I wish that it would tell us that, this highway starts in Egypt and it goes all the way up to Assyria, but it doesn't tell us that, and that is a crucial bit of information. But there are no more prophecies out there in the Bible that can link this together. So for this reason, I'm saying that it's actually a very strong link, though more information is needed, okay, and there are no other links. So I wonder what you folks think about this. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.